Hey everyone, welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm Leslie. I'm so glad you're here in my kitchen down here on my farm. We have a long night ahead of us tonight. Not as long as it could have been, but it's going to be pretty long. It's going to be even longer Monday night. But I thought I'd make us a treat, a pre-treat. It's not something we can eat while we're working, but we're going to make us a treat to, I don't know, make us feel better before we get over there and have to do all that hard work. But today we're making homemade peach ice cream. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. We're making good old-fashioned homemade ice cream. It can be a vanilla base, and then you can add to it whatever you want. So don't go anywhere. Use the intro to hit subscribe.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is...
Okay, so before we get started on the ice cream, let me just talk to you a little bit and tell you how I got to where I am as far as wanting to make ice cream. Now, I will probably talk a little bit, so if that frustrates you, I'm sorry, but I did warn you. I'm going to talk just a minute. The last few years, I have not been able to preserve my garden like I always do. And I always can put up, make salsa, homemade salsa. We do the works, cowboy candy, we do it all, and we can't put it up. Well, I haven't been able to do that in the last, I think, 3 years now. And I'm missing it. I am really missing it. Anyway, I was in the freezer and I found a bag of peaches that I had frozen and thought, I need to get those out and do something with them. And then my wheels got to turning about, I need to start canning again. Even if I have to can store-bought things, or not really store-bought things, but anyway, canning. And I want to get back to canning and preserving food. So anyway, here we go. We're going to make homemade ice cream. Now let me go ahead and tell you, we are using, you know, the good old-fashioned. When I say old-fashioned, I'm not hand cranking it, but it looks like the old hand crank ice cream freezers. I'm not going to be hand cranking it. It does come motorized, so I'll be using that. Now, let's talk about this for just a minute. The old-fashioned way calls for eggs. And if you are opposed to eggs or raw eggs, then just leave them out. Just leave them out. I think it gives a good richness and a depth to your ice cream. I also know how to tell if an egg is bad, so I'm not fearful of the eggs. Doesn't bother me, and I want the flavor that it gives. So, but if that is you and you are not that confident in your eggs or in the ability to tell if an egg is good or bad, then leave them out. Just leave them out. But you will miss them after you try it with them. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me grab everything I need and I'll meet you back here in just a little bit. So here are my peaches out of the freezer. They're still frozen solid, but I can break them apart. And that's a great time to cut them up into bite-sized pieces once you can get them apart. You know, I mean, you gotta be able to get them apart. But I'm just gonna cut them up into small pieces. Well, it helps when you have a sharp knife. And you might want to soften them a little bit. Okay, and we're just going to put those in a bowl. So I'm going to I'm gonna thaw these just for a brief second and then cut them up and put them in the bowl, and I'll meet you back here to put the mix together. Okay guys, I wanted to show you how I got them, that they're still have ice crystals, but they're soft enough, they're easier for me to cut than they were originally. So that's how you want to get them. I put it on defrost for about, like defrost for 2 minutes maybe, if even that. So I'm going to finish cutting these up and I'll be right back. Okay, I have them all chopped up here. I hope that's going to be enough. I've cleaning out my freezer, so we're getting ready to go on vacation in a few weeks, and we passed by this peach place, so we may buy more peaches, and I need to make room. I also froze, not only did I freeze just plain peaches like this, but I also froze peach cobbler mix, the mix already mixed, and so the only thing I have to make is the batter. I'm cleaning out my freezer to make more room. I've got a lot of chicken out there, so I'm thinking about canning up some chicken. I'm thinking about canning chicken soup. I would like to can a big thing of vegetable soup. So I'm really thinking about canning, and making peach ice cream is a good way to clean out my freezer, to pull stuff out of my freezer that I'm gonna can, and so that when I go back peaches, I can refreeze some new and fresh peaches to put back in the freezer. So not just canning, but preserving in general. Okay, so like I said, this recipe has eggs. So when you're gonna use eggs that you're not cooking, it's always good to do it in a separate bowl. And you can actually do the float test to make sure your egg doesn't float. And you wanna make sure that the yolk stays whole or is whole when you crack it. Sometimes it breaks when you flop it in, or maybe the shell scrapes it and cracks it. But for the most part, you want your yolk to be whole. Both of those were. So those are good to go. All right. So we're going in there with the eggs. I've got okay, so to our 2 eggs, we're gonna mix in 2 cups of sugar. Okay. And I'm just gonna whisk that really good until it's all incorporated. Just want to be sure all that egg is okay. So to that, I'm going to add in a little bit, just to add a little liquid of this evaporated milk. We're going in with the whole can, but I want to get this good and loosened up so the sugar will dissolve. Okay, see how that just loosened it up? So to that, we're going to just finish adding a can of evaporated milk. Now you could by all means be mixing this in your freezer, your ice cream freezer container. Now I probably won't go through, I mean, I'll show you what I'm doing with my ice cream maker, but I won't, I'm not going to like spend a lot of time on it because I know we all have different sizes, different types, all that good stuff. Okay, so this was not in my mom's recipe, but I am going to put in about, half a can of sweetened condensed milk. This also gives it another depth of goodness. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going in with about a tablespoon of vanilla. And I just eyeball that because I love vanilla. And I love imitation vanilla. I don't like the real deal stuff. All right, so let's bring our ice cream freezer container over. I've washed it, made sure it was good and clean. Now, here's the time if you have friends that own a dairy or if you have a dairy close to you that sells their good milk, then that's where you want to get it. But if not, I do prefer using whole milk instead of oh my goodness, look at that rich creamy stuff going in there. Okay. I'm just getting all the goodness out. It's still coming out a little bit. I didn't bring me a silicone spatula over here. Okay, so now we're just going to finish filling this up almost to the top. I don't have a lot of them have a max fill line. This one does not. I had Oreo on it. I had Oreos on my counter. Okay, so we're just going to finish filling this up. I'm going to stop it right below that indentation there. And I gotta save room for the peaches. So let's stop it right there. Let's stop it right there. Let's give it another little whisk. Oh my goodness, y'all. All right, and some people wait and put the peaches in near the end. Some people put them in now. I'm going to put them in. Let me put the blade in first. I'm going to put them in now. Just because I'm scared of getting salt in the ice cream when I open it and I'm trying to put it back in. I just feel like that gives too much opportunity to get some of that ice cream salt in there that you don't necessarily want. Okay, guys, I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to get everything set up over here and we'll get this going. Okay, everybody, we're over here at my sink, so just forgive the dishwater. I keep a pan of dishwater all the time. And I'm going in with about half a layer first. We'll lay that over there. We'll use it. But... okay, and so I've got half a layer. So what I want to add in now is some ice cream salt. And I just go around one time. And then I'm going to add more ice. And now's probably a really good time to go ahead and get the motor, get your motor running. I'm going to hopefully turn it this way. Oh, don't put the lid on yet. You got to be sure it fits. It's the shape of well, let's turn it around where I can see what I'm doing. Well, it keeps popping out, so hold on just a minute. Let me see what's going on. Okay, guys, didn't take me but a second to figure it out. I had accidentally pulled the lid up, and that was keeping it from... and so I'm going to finish off with ice. And another layer of salt. I'm in a hurry and I'm not used to doing this. And so when you take the lid off, you've got to be sure there is no salt that's going to get in there, because you don't want no salty ice cream. So you just got to be very careful. Okay, we're going to plug it in. And see how fast it's going now? As it freezes, the salt brings the freezing temperature down, or yeah, down, and so it'll get slower and slower. And you can top it off as you go with ice. I find it's not usually necessary, but we're gonna let this go and I'll bring you back in just a little bit when it gets thick and ready to eat. Okay guys, so ideally you let the ice cream maker go until the sound starts to slow and then you hear it stop. I overfilled my tank just a little bit, but that's okay. So let me show you what you need to do. I just took the lid off. Look at that. Oh my goodness. You need a spoon and a bowl, because you want to take this paddle, and this used to be my kids' favorite part, was licking the paddle. But look at that ice cream, y'all. Now I've got some containers and I'm just giving it a stir to stir up any peaches that got hung up. All right, let's give this a try. I'll show you the containers I've got to freeze this in. Of course, I was making room in my freezer and now I'm going to be putting more back in. So let's set that off to the side. We'll give this a taste test. Now remember, up until I put the peaches in, that is a perfect base. You can go from there. Like you can add chocolate, or you can add strawberries or bananas. Banana ice cream is my favorite. Let's give this a try. Oh my goodness. Bryant, yes. You might want to come try this. It's good stuff right there. Hang on.
Hey everybody. Hey, they're crooked. Look, they're crooked.
He drives me nuts.
Let's go. There we go. That's better right there.
Okay.
At least I drive you something.
You do.
Right? Here we go. Tell them what I've been doing.
Well, we've been working at the chicken house, putting an air conditioner in the office for us because we're getting ready to sell chickens
Somebody
tonight.
had to have a new air conditioner.
It's hot.
That's good right there.
Y'all, and I know it's the old-fashioned way of making it, but some things that are old-fashioned are just the best way, and that's one of them.
Man, that flavor's good.
Isn't that good?
That flavor's good.
What do you think about with bananas in it? Oh, instead of peaches. The peaches are delicious. But...
maraschino cherries.
Oh yeah, make a cherry.
Remember Chris Barter used to make a cherry?
He sure did.
That's good right there.
Yes, it is. Okay, hang tight. I'm going to go get my containers, show them to you so you know what to look for. Okay, guys, so here's what I'm going to freeze them in. These are my favorite freezer containers. I buy them right off Amazon. It comes in a pack of 24. I can't remember how much they are, but they are wonderful. I buy them right before chicken stew time. Actually, a pack lasts me 2 or 3 years, and by the end of 2 or 3 years, they've all been given away or thrown away or whatever. But this will last me for a long time. And I buy them when it comes time for the chicken stew, which is coming up in 2 months. So we're going to be in the fall in our chicken stew, our annual chicken stew. So I'm just going to scoop this ice cream up into these containers, and we are going to have a treat tonight while we're selling chickens. So, okay guys, this was wonderful, homemade, old-fashioned, homemade peach ice cream. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't be scared of those eggs. Just check them out before you use them. And if you are nervous about the eggs, just leave them out. Just leave them out. Okay, we'll see you guys next time on The Farm and Pastor's Wife. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all.